I'm Greg Mills. I work at the Brenthurst Foundation in South Africa, which is an applied policy research organization which advises presidents and institutions around the world. Our particular area of expertise is in recovery of post-conflict economies, and I'm writing a book here which is based on the last 7 or 8 years of experience in places as diverse as Afghanistan and the Congo on post-conflict economic recovery. Essentially, what makes post-conflict countries succeed and how should people best intervene in these environments. The book essentially covers 25 different case studies. It's based in a number of different sections. The two core sections are looking at instances of failure, countries or circumstances, societies which have failed. The general conclusion is that they fail for reasons of politics. It's about political choices, about questions of identity which take preference or hold sway over issue-based politics. And these case studies cover everywhere from Latin America all the way through Europe, particularly Kosovo. A lot of them are in Africa. We essentially identify 65 countries which have characteristics of failed or failing states. They are the countries in the bottom half of the failed states index, plus those in Paul Collier's bottom billion. And these are the countries that we focus on. And then we look at, again, about another half dozen or so which are instances of intervention, literally from the Congo to Afghanistan, Somalia, Somaliland, and so on, and then arrive at a set of conclusions. The conclusions are both look at what countries should do in terms of those in which people have intervened, but also look at what the interveners should do. And there's a whole range of lessons. I'm writing this book with General Sir David Richards, who is currently the Chief of Defence Staff of the UK Army. I was his advisor in Afghanistan in 2006, and we've worked together a lot over the last decade. And really it's based on his practical experience on the ground and my experience as an advisor that we reach some of these conclusions, to say both for the societies in which interveners find themselves, as well as the interveners themselves, both from a bilateral as well as a multinational perspective. Well, Bellagio is a remarkable place. It's a remarkable place for two good reasons from my perspective. One is it affords you the time and space to be able to think about your project and obviously to write it up. So you've got lots of time to really digest your thoughts, to lay them out clearly, to thread your argument through a subject as complex as a book, or topic as complex as a book, and thread it continuously through 100,000 words or so. The other aspect of Bellagio, which I didn't think was going to be that important when I first got here, in fact I was a little alarmed that this was part of the deal, was the time spent with other people. I hadn't quite factored that in, but it's been remarkably beneficial. I mean, bouncing ideas of other people, people who come from completely different backgrounds with different areas of expertise, people who play the viola, people who are journalists, people who are environmentalists, people who are artists or architects and so on. It really is an eclectic mix of folk, but that adds to the richest, the tapestry of the Bellagio experience. So I have gained, not just as I expected in terms of the space, the time, the fact that you're very well looked after here, except for the weather, which has been shocking. But that's, of course, also a good thing for writing. The fact that everything is taken care of. But what is so useful is this interaction that you have, thinking about ideas from different perspectives. And then, of course, the surrounds lend themselves to thinking. They lend themselves to a sort of tranquility and a mental space for thinking about things in a deeper way than perhaps if you were at home and you were bouncing around in your job and trying to find brief moments to write up a project of this complexity and duration, that you wouldn't necessarily find that easily. So it's a remarkable place, but not just the physical locality or the space, but the people involved.